When it comes to living a healthier life, the advice can feel just endless, right? It's so overwhelming. Every day there's a new rule, a new thing to avoid. But what if we could just cut through all that noise?
Does it ever feel like you need a science degree just to figure out what to have for dinner? Yeah, you are not alone. With all the information flying around, it can seem totally impossible to even know where to begin. But the good news is, it really doesn't have to be that complicated.
In fact, we can boil all that essential, science-backed advice down to 3 simple core pillars. Just think of them as the foundation for building a stronger, healthier you. So let's jump right in with the first one.
All right, pillar 1 is all about fueling your body right. And listen, this isn't about some crazy, restrictive diet. It's about making smart, consistent choices with the actual fuel that powers you through your day.
So, what does a healthy meal actually look like on your plate? It's pretty simple, really. A great rule of thumb is to fill half of your plate with fruits and vegetables. Then you split the other half between whole grains, think brown rice or oats, and some good lean proteins like fish or beans. That simple balance is your ticket to getting all the different nutrients you need.
Okay, now for a few really important numbers. First up, less than 5 grams. That's the amount of salt the World Health Organization says we should aim for per day. To put that in perspective, that's about a single teaspoon. Sticking to this is so important because too much salt is a huge driver of high blood pressure, and that's often called the silent killer for a reason. It can do some serious damage before you even know you have it.
Here's another key number for you, less than 5%. This is all about free sugars, the kind they add to foods and drinks, and also the sugars in honey and fruit juice. The WHO recommends keeping these below 5% of your total daily energy. It's a massive step in preventing unhealthy weight gain and lowering your risk for type 2 diabetes.
And our final target for this pillar, 30%. This is the recommended ceiling for total fat in our diet. But, and this is a big but, you have to understand that not all fats are the same. The type of fat you eat is way more important than the total amount.
So here's the game plan. You want to prioritize the healthy, unsaturated fats. That's the good stuff you find in things like fish, avocados, nuts, and olive oil. On the flip side, you want to limit the saturated and trans fats, the kind that's hiding in fatty meats, butter, and a lot of baked and fried foods. The takeaway is super simple. Swap the harmful fats for the good ones whenever you get the chance.
Okay, that brings us to pillar 2, protecting from daily risks. This whole section is about being proactive, being mindful of all the preventable threats that are out there in our daily lives.
Listen to how the World Health Organization puts this. Smoking isn't just a personal choice that only affects the person lighting up. The thousands of chemicals in that smoke cause heart disease, lung disease, and cancer, and they hurt everyone who's exposed. Honestly, the single best thing a smoker can do for their health and for the people they love is to quit.
And it's a similar story with alcohol. Avoiding it is another huge step you can take for your health. It's linked to a staggering number of problems. We're talking more than 30 different diseases, everything from cancer and liver disease to heart problems.
Now let's talk about a risk that might be a little less obvious: antibiotic resistance. This is a massive global health threat. It's what happens when we misuse or overuse antibiotics, which basically gives bacteria a chance to evolve into superbugs. The bottom line here is simple but absolutely vital. Only take antibiotics when a qualified health professional tells you to, and always finish the entire prescription.
One of the simplest and most powerful protective measures we have is just good old hand hygiene. And it's not just for doctors and nurses. It's for every single one of us. Whether you're using soap and water or an alcohol-based rub, clean hands are one of your best defenses against spreading infectious diseases.
And of course, protection goes beyond that. It includes a lot of other common sense habits that are just fundamental to a healthy life, right? Things like practicing safe sex, making sure your drinking water is clean, cooking your food correctly so you don't get sick, and even simple stuff like following traffic laws to avoid getting hurt. All right, on to our final pillar, strengthening for the future. This is all about building up your resilience and making a long-term investment in your body and your mind through proactive habits. And the key number for this pillar is 150. What's that? It's the minimum number of minutes of moderate intensity activity, like a brisk walk, a bike ride, anything that gets your heart rate up, that adults should aim for every single week. Think of it as the baseline for unlocking some incredible health rewards.
And just look at this list of benefits. It's amazing. Regular exercise doesn't just help you manage your weight.
It dramatically reduces your risk of pretty much every major chronic disease out there, from heart disease and diabetes to several types of cancer. Plus, it's a powerhouse for strengthening your bones and boosting your mental health.
So let me ask you a really important question. Do you know your numbers? And I'm not just talking about the number on the scale. I'm talking about those key indicators of your health that you might not even be thinking about. And maybe the most important one, your blood pressure?
And here's why that's so critical. Like we said before, high blood pressure, hypertension, is a silent killer. Why? Because it usually has no symptoms. You can feel totally fine while it's quietly damaging your heart, your brain, and your kidneys. A simple, regular checkup is the only way to know your numbers and get a handle on it before it becomes a serious problem.
And this really gets to the heart of what strengthening for the future is all about. Don't wait until something feels wrong. Regular checkups are your chance to find health problems before they even start, when the odds of successful treatment are at their absolute best.
Okay, so we have covered a ton of ground. What's the blueprint then? How do we bring this all together?
It all comes back to these 3 core pillars. It's actually that simple. Number 1, fuel your body right with good, nutritious food. Number 2, protect yourself from all those preventable daily risks. And number 3, strengthen your body for the future with regular exercise and those all-important checkups.
Look, you don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. That's not how real, lasting change happens. It usually starts with just one small, manageable step. So the question I want to leave you with is this. Looking at these pillars, what's the one small change you're going to start with today?